be evening for you now, right? Okay, let me show you what I've got done this week. I bound off on my ranunculus on the top. It looks awfully short, and I was like, let me lay it up against my other one to make sure, because I counted the rows and I knit the same, but it's going to grow just a tiny bit when I block it, so it's fine there, because I do want it a little cropped. I always wear a shirt underneath my other one, and I will this one too. And I have started the one sleeve. I'm about halfway done with that bad boy. So I'm hoping, I'm fingers crossed, maybe I'll finish this weekend. That would be awesome. And by the way, I was watching the Grocery Girls. Is it their most recent podcast? I think so. Anyway, they were singing the praises of the ranunculus, and Tracy has did like 3 of them. And I was like, I knew it. I knew I was cool. I knew it. All right. And then I finished, here they are, my wild and crazy apple of my eye socks. Okay. I will tell you, I learned something about myself. I'm a bit of a lazy knitter. But I think part of the problem is that for most often, my knitting time is restricted to the evenings. When my brain is tired, my body is tired, and I just want to get done. So sometimes when I weave in ends, I don't do it quite as well as I could. But I don't care. They'll wear the same, right? And I did get funky. These are not even quite, I don't know. Would you still call these sister socks? Because I definitely did them different. And I once again used the limeade to count my rows, to help me keep track of how many rows that I had. And my heel did turn out better this time. Do y'all remember last week? I think it was last week I showed you that my one looked a little funky because my wrap and turn was weird. But anyway, so I did do better, but I realized the pattern that I was using, it just didn't make any sense. So I will definitely be trying next the shadow wrap heel to see if I don't like it better. And with the way everyone sings its praises, I think I will. So yeah. But anyway, I'm excited. They fit good. They're comfortable. And I'm happy with them. So get to mark those off the list, which, and since I bound off a pair of socks, it means I get to cast on a pair of socks. No? Yes, it does. So I showed you all last week, the Fat Tuesday colorway. Well, I caked it up along with a skein of Bodacious and a skein of Gnarly. And I did actually I just started the cast on. I'll do 64 stitches for my sister-in-law. She has a size 8 foot just like I do, so I can basically make her the same size sock. So I'm making the Puffle socks, and I'm going to use, obviously, Fat Tuesday will be the main color, and then Bodacious and Gnarly will be the 2 contrast colors. So I did notice that she calls for a 2.5 millimeter needle, which I don't know, is that a 1.5 US one? Because this is a 1, and I looked at it and it says 2.25 millimeter. She doesn't actually give the US size. Anyway, her cast on numbers are 48, 64, or 72. I always do 64 with a size 1. So I'm using a size 1 because that's my formula. Anyway, but I am excited to knit it. And and I haven't done anything with the cowl yet that we talked about. I feel like I can't have too many projects or I'll never make progress. And I want to get my ranunculus done before Nash Yarn Fest. So we'll see. Now, did you all see the new Color Work Cuff Club? I'm allowed to show this, right? She's released it. So this is what's her name? Summer Lee Designs. We've talked about this plenty of times, the Color Work Cuff Club that she does. And so this is March's sock, basically, which is cute. Half of a flower, a disappearing flower. I kind of like that. She probably has a video on it too, but I haven't watched that. I've watched some of her other videos, but I haven't gotten around to seeing if she did one for that. So, oh, thank you, Karen. That's awesome. I love it. Lydia, what yarn did you use? Oh, do you mean for the ranunculus? Sorry. So this is, I'm using the same exact formula that I did for my last one. So I'm using one strand of, it's called, the colorway is a Hallmark Holiday. I'm using one strand of Swanky Sock. And so as I recall from the last time, unless my knitting gauge is different, I don't know. Do I have any more Hallmark Holiday on Swanky Sock? I think I might back there. Is that what I'm looking at? I don't know. Anyway, the last time I only needed one skein since it's 150 grams of that. And I'm holding it with 2 strands of fluffy lace, which is basically the 65% Surrey alpaca and 35% silk. So it's very scrumptious. And of course, I will run out of those 2. So I have a 3rd skein. And when I get to that one, I'll just pull from the center and the outside because I won't need all of that. So yeah, that is what I am using. Sorry, I've talked about this pattern so much now that I tend to forget. People may not know what I used. And so with what I love about this pattern was a couple of things. First of all, when I wear my other ranunculus, it is the most recognized pattern out there. But a lot of people seem a little hesitant to knit it because of the gauge. But there's a lot of flexibility built into it. And you can obviously not make it near as loose and sheer as some of the pattern pictures show. So, you know, you see what I did. I'm using 3 strands and a size 10 needle. So it's working out great. And I also deleted a couple of the rows right before, actually up here, right before I bound off for the sleeves or the underarm because I didn't want any extra slouch. So, yeah. All right. What else? Okay, Anne says they are sister socks. I knew Anne would approve because she likes wild and crazy socks like I do. All right, what is in the shop? Well, let me tell you, some of it was in the newsletter and some of it wasn't so much. So there's a couple of one-of-a-kinds. I was playing around. These were mainly leftover liquid concentrates that I had. And I've been trying to make room in my dye drawers. So I was cleaning out some of my greens and playing around for a colorway for Bo for his Musselburgh hat. So this is the first one that I came up with, and it is called the Gory Details. This is it on Trusty DK. I think that is all that's left because I had 2 on Trusty Sock and both of those sold. So it's left now on Trusty DK. The other one, which is my favorite, is this one. It's a little limp because there's so much drape in this skein. This is on Silky Sock. This is called Narrow Margins. That actually would look really good for Bo's hat. Maybe I'll just pull these 2. I don't know. Anyway, there are still 2 skeins of that on Silky Sock. And I think there's still one left on Trusty Sock. So that is some good looking green right there. All right. So those are the 2 one-of-a-kinds that are in the shop. There is also a 1 skein of Mocha Mousse. Y'all remember that? Left in the shop. Trusty Sock. I think I dyed that up for me and then decided that I would put it in the shop. So it's in there. I dyed up some more vintage on Fluffy Lace. So that is in there. If y'all remember, I knit a cumulus holding 2 strands of that. It's gorgeous. There's also, I think I talked about this last week, but Pomp and Circumstance has been updated on a couple of bases. That's a nice full-on black. And then also Spindle Prick Red. Oh, I love that red. Hubba, hubba, hubba. It's a toss-up between that and mail pouches to my favorite red. Tell you what, those are good stuff.